both ends turned down. Got that end turned down, and what I'm going to do now, I think I'm going to put it on in the vise, and clamp it in the vise and drill the hole pattern that I need to drill, and then rough drill the center of that. Do I want to do it on the mill, or do I want to go ahead? I'm trying to decide whether I want to do that on lathe or if I. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it on the mill. So anyway, I'm going to go over here and on the mill and clamp that in, dial it in, put the whole pattern in, and then I'm going to rough drill the center out. So we'll come back when I get that done.
Okay, I'm over here in the mill. I'm with the part that I just made on the lathe that I turned on both ends, and I'm going to drill the hole pattern in. I'm going to set the camera up so you're looking over my shoulder here. You can see what I'm doing. I'll set it on this side, I think. And zoom in on a little bit. Alright. Anyway, I dialed it in. Dialed in the center, and then I checked to make sure that I'm straight. I've got parallel underneath it holding it. And it calls for 5/16 holes in here. Oh, I'm going to put that indicator back in. I haven't set my dials yet. And I want to make sure I set my dials and then I'm still centered. So I'm going to go over here and set my dial to 0 here on this end. I'm going to crank off, and then I'm going to come back to 0. And I'm going to do the same thing on Y axis. Set the Y axis at 0 also. Crank off of it and then come back to 0. And now I'm going to just double check to make sure that I did that right. Set my indicator at 0 there. And I'm off by 4 thousandths on X. So, first thing I'm going to do is adjust my X here to get it. I can't remember if it was 4 thou above or 4 thou below. That's it right there. So, I'll reset my 0 here, and then I'm gonna crank off of 0 again, and then I'm gonna come back to it, make sure I'm at 0, taking the backlash out the correct way. Okay, so Y-axis was fine. Y-axis was fine, I just didn't get my X right. So now I know that I'm on center there. And those holes are 850 thousandths off center line over. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 50. I go beyond and then come back to the 50 mark, taking the backlash out the same way. And now 850 on my Y-axis. Same thing here. I'll go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and go beyond the 50 mark and then back. That's actually the 150. Taking the backlash out the same way. Now we'll center drill and we'll drill. It calls for a 5/16 diameter bolt through that, or hole through that. So we'll get a 5/16 drill and a center drill. and we will drill that hole all the way through. Okay. And the parallel's not in the way, so I can bowl it through. I gotta get my coolant bottle. It's right there. Okay, now we just move over here, move back to center line and over to 850 the other way. So where's the 50? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Center line. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 150. 850. And we'll center drill. Did I see that move? Maybe I thought that I'd seen it move. I'm wondering if I should take it. I'm going to take an indicator real quick. Swing here. I could have swore I seen it move. There's no way for me to check that. I was looking for my precision square. I think my eyes are playing tricks on me. There is a way I could check this way, then I could go like this here and go back to the other hole. Let's see that if it lines up. And it should be on the 50 mark. It's right. Alright, go back to the, there's the 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 center line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sometimes that, you think you see something out of the corner of your eye. The coolant I'm using is trim saw. Sitting on a parallel, so it should be alright. Alright, put the center drill back in, and we'll crank Y-axis out. So we gotta crank back to the center line. So there's the 50, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's center line. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 50. Okie dokie. Move my parallel in. It's out of the way. Okay, now we'll move X again. Move it to 50, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, center line. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to go beyond and then back to the 150. And center drill in. There we go. Whole pattern is in. Now, I could either rough it out here, but I think I'm just going to go back to the lathe and do that. I was contemplating on roughing that out right here, but I'm not going to. So, where's my air nozzle at here? There it is. We'll move back over to the lathe. And we're going to set you up here looking over my shoulder on the right hand side here. And we're going to clamp that in. I'm going to get my tool bit out. I don't need that. Crank this back. I want to smash stuff, and now we'll get some drills. I think I'm going to move you over since I'm going to be working on the tails with the tailstock. There you can kind of see. Now the center drill that I just put away. And we'll attempt to drill a hole through there. And let's see, what do I got for RPM? I want about 1,000 to 1,400, so I'll go with a C2. That's 1,000. And then I'll get my coolant bottle over here. And we should be ready to motivate. So the wheel pushed in a little bit. Crap. And I think I'll start with a 1/2 inch drill. I'll go with a 1/2 inch drill right away here. This hole has got to go up to sure. But I think it was, the idea of that is 1" 500. Hopefully I didn't get no fooling on the camera. Okay, I'm gonna have to slide it in a little ways. We're through. All right. Okay. And then we'll hook up a drill here. See what I got for the next drill. Let's see. Got a 1" flat, kind of like a flat bottomer here. We'll try that once, see what that does. Can't run the same RPM though. Slow down a little bit. Tighten that up. And I'm going to guess around 600 for this one. So I'm going to kick her down to 600. Drop 400 off of it. Nope, drop more off. Too much. Let's go to 360. I'm going to go down to 360. Okay. Better. Much better. This is 1 inch. See, one flute is doing most of the cutting. Start backing out now. I kind of ride the lock when I slide it back in, so if it would happen to grab, I could lock it down real quick. We're through. All right. So we got a 1 inch hole in there. And yeah, this was hand ground flat, so that's why I got them pretty close to where it cuts even, but one flute does do most of the cutting. Seemed to cut all right. And I don't think I have anything big over an inch, so from here out it's going to be boring. It's going to be really boring from here out. All right, so I'll set up a boring bar. And I think I'll see where I'm at with the camera. Back you up here a little bit. Move you over here. All right. So first thing I gotta do is straighten this out. Crank this in here and just use my part to see if I get it straight. Right there. And now take a boring bar out. That one will reach through. This is a homemade one here. I got a lot of little homemade boring bars laying around. Oh, back this screw up some more. This one. Alright. Set that so it's level across. Or close to. I'm going to check my center height real quick. Crank it in and check it on the back side. Yeah, I can't see from here. I gotta go around the back side here. That looks pretty close right there. Oops. It looks pretty close right there, so we're gonna call that good. And we're gonna go in here. I'm gonna leave that RPM where it was at. At around, no, actually I am going to kick it up. I'm going to kick it up to 600. Come in and I'm going to cut. That's kind of a heavy touch. But then I'm going to go take 20 thou, turn my feed rate on. My feed rate box. I still like that feed rate. I can adjust and fine tune it as I see fit. Plus switch directions. That's a little fast. Slow it down a little bit. Something I didn't think about right now, and that is I'm flat down on my jaws here. I don't know what the diameter they're at. I don't want to hit them. Oh yeah, I think I got plenty of room. I think. Shoot. I think I'm going to take that out of there. See what I mean? It would end up hitting here. I want to go to 1.5 inches. Let me take and just kind of take my calipers here. Just want to make sure I got enough room. without hitting anything. Yeah, see, she would hit. She'd hit that. So, that means I gotta back it out, clamp on that little flange instead. I'll have to clamp on this flange instead. If I can get closed that far, probably not. Gonna be close. Oh, just barely. There, that gives me room so I can go through that boring bar without worrying about hitting into my hardened jaws. Does it run through there? Got a little bit of wobble there. Let's try the other side once. You're not going to make me get the forejaw out, are you? Not sure how much that is. I'm looking at the wobble. I could take a light cut here, and then the mating part, adjust that accordingly too. Or not worry about it until I get to the end and then see how bad it is. I think I'm just going to go ahead with it the way it is, because if worst comes to worst, I can chuck on the ID of the cylinder and face these back off a little bit, so they'll be all right. Okay, I'm looking to see how far in I can go without... I was right at the max here. Right there. I'm going to set my travel indicator in the back. Set that to 0. Set that to 0. That way I know that's how far I can go in. I had it half bored on this side. That's why I could just crank it in. So I'm going to get a snap gauge. And we're going to check that diameter, see where we're at. And the snap gauge, you put it in there at an angle, lock it. Oops. Let's see if I can zoom in. Okay, you put this in at an angle and you lock it, and then you just grab it by the very end. You don't have to lock it tight either, and just push it through one time. You don't want to go back and forth and try to find the high spot. You just want to put it in the hole at an angle and then tip it one time through the center. So now we'll see what we got. Plus, a snap gauge always measures a press fit, does not measure a slip fit. If you want a slip fit, whatever diameter this is, if this was, say this was 1 inch diameter, it read, it would actually be a 199, or it'd be a 999 and maybe a half, because you're going to read a half to a thou press fit with a snap gauge, depending on how tight you tighten the. So I'm reading a 1 inch 34 thousandths. I've got a long ways to go because I got to go to 1.5 inches. So I'm going to try to take 100 at a time. So I'm going to set my dial and I'm going to crank it out 100. And we will see if that'll take it. Kind of eating chips over here. Ow! Ooh, that's a hot one. Hot one went down the neck. You can definitely see how hot the chips are when they get down your neck. Okay, so that should be 134. And this will be 234. I'm just going to give it one little spritz of. I'm going to move the camera a little bit so I can move out of the way of the chips. Taking 100 thou at a time, so this will be 234. Right down the shirt again. Okay, 234, so here we go, another 100, be 334. Give it another little spritz. After this one, I'm going to take a free pass and then I'm going to check the hole again. Give it a little bit of a spritz, and I'm gonna take a spring pass here. Okay, now we'll check and see where that's at again. Now I'll need a bigger snap gauge. Right. This is 1.25 inches to. Okay, so you just put it in at an angle, loosen it so they snap out, and then just one time, just slowly push it through, and then check the diameter. And it should be, what did I say, 334? I think. But I put a spring pass on it, so it might be a little bit bigger. It's actually 3 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So you might as well say 340. And I will take 100. Well, what am I doing here? Cranked it the wrong way. You fool, you fool. Alright. This should take us to 60 thou under. Making some chips though. Sun's shining in the window on the. I guess you're wondering where all the glare is coming from. And I'm going to take a spring pass and measure again. Measure that again. The boring bar's leaving a really nice finish on the inside. Snap it, push it over, and then measure it. It should be 440, right? Or somewhere in that vicinity. Or 430. It's actually 435. 435. So it actually is 434. So, but we want to go to 500. So I'm going to go 50. 30, 40. I'm just going to go 50 thou and going to sneak up on it, as they say. Give it a little coolant, and we will sneak up on it. I should go and get my mandrel material and actually size it to my mandrel. Takes 1 3/4 and turn it down. I'm good. And that time got a little chatter in there, which means that get the free pass, you can clean it up. Oh yeah. Could actually take another free pass. I can see I'm leaving a little bit of a trail. When it starts doing that, that means you got way too many RPM for what you're doing. So, we were running at 6. I'm going to kick it now down to 2, or to 360. the diameter has gotten big enough now to where
and once you get chatter in there too, sometimes it's tough to get rid of.
may take it out on the next pass. I don't know. We'll see. Although chatter in this board really doesn't matter, other than it matters to me. Got most of it out, but it's still got, when that starts bouncing like that, you know, it, that's the same thing with turning it out on the outside, you know, or parting off with a parting tool, or, you know, starts chattering, you've got too many RPM. You slow down because you're not feeding it heavy enough. It's either slow the RPM down or crank it in faster, or get a bigger chip load on it. All right, we are at 87, 487. So we've got 5, 10, 13 thou to go. I'm going to take 10. I'm going to take a 10 thou cut. Actually, a 5 thou cut. Get a little spritz of coolant. And this time I'm going to put my finger on the mooring bar to try to help with the chatter. That will help too. Takes some luck. You don't really got to push on it, you just got to touch it. It helps keep the vibration from building up. I think it's going to be all right. All right, I'm getting close. Let's see what we got. I was thinking about leaving it maybe just a couple thou, because that way if the stock that I'm going to use for mandrel is running right at or a little under, I should have rounded that up first. And we need to take 5 thou more. Crank it out 5. I'm going to crank it out 4 thousandths. And get a little spritz. Slow my feed rate down a little bit. You want to be careful when you do this. You don't stick your finger in the bore, obviously. Might be a good way to lose a finger. If I had a bunch of clay, you could do that too. Put clay on the back side of your boring bar. That'll do the same thing. It'll help with chatter. You put a big wad of clay on the back side, down it. think this is going to be it. I could have actually called it last time and not took this last cut, but that's okay. Should be right at or just below. And it is, it's just below. It's just 1/1000ths below, so it's actually 2 thou under. So now I'm going to call that good. So I'm going to take that out of there. And I'll give it a little shot of air. And move the camera away. Move it over here. You guys getting dizzy yet? Alright, so got the starts. Grab a Berkwick out of my toolbox here and just run a Berkwick around it. And then these holes here that kind of hard to deburr on one side. But I want to get a mandrel now, some mandrel material, and see what I got, and then come in and cut fins. But it's a start. You're probably just looking at my shoulder. Sorry. Anyway, get back over here by the surface plate. So I'm taking some stuff away here, put my snap gauges away. Oh, another thing, for those that are not real familiar with snap gauges, never push them together and lock them and store them that way. You don't want them stored that way. You want them stored with it loose. That's the same thing with a 0 to 1 mic. Never turn it together on the faces onto each other and store it that way. And matter of fact, you don't really want to put those faces together unless you've cleaned them. And to clean the faces, you put a piece of paper in between, bring it in, pull the paper out. That cleans those faces, and then you can put them together. Because if you put them together with some sand or grit on them, you're going to ruin your mic. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's just a little tidbit that I was taught. You know, you take like a mic right here. Doesn't matter what kind of paper. Put it in between, and you bring it together lightly on the paper. And that way the paper rubs. If there's any sand or any grit, you can see it. And that's how you check in. It's right on. Which is amazing because I hardly use this mic. So I'm kind of surprised that it's right on, but it is. Okay, well anyway, I'm going to cut away here and I'm going to go see if I can find some mandrel material for this one. If I find mandrel material and get started on it, I'll come back.